Not in any calls anymore, but that is a pretty bullish market. And I don't have a pivot until the pre-market high, or the overnight high, I should say. Get this link out. All right. I didn't fill out my journal yet, so I'm going to take a second to do that. But before I do that, man, if only I found a way to trade futures at the same time I trade options, because just caught almost a 200 point NASDAQ call trade. That was glorious. Um, I don't really have any more setups, to be honest. It's gonna probably be like yesterday. Like, that was the trade to catch, and I literally entered on the low. I literally entered on the low of day candle at 7:48. I sent out the alert for calls, um, and I already tried calls once here. Stopped out here for a small loss and then re-entered. Um, would have been a fantastic futures trade. I don't even know how much that is, but it's a lot. Let me see. One mini, it's like $3,700 a mini. That is not bad. But all right, I'm gonna fill out my journal and we'll see what we can do today. I don't know if, like, I keep having this issue, Fantastic first hour, just like yesterday. Great setup, and now I have nothing. So we'll see. By the way, I'm gonna post those recordings of me reviewing yesterday's trading, options wise and futures wise, right after this live session. Not a bad. Well, it was a bad day P&L wise yesterday, but only a couple of errors that would have only made yesterday a little less red. Minor errors, moving stop loss to break even on the big one, and then not entering one of the reversal trades, or I shouldn't have entered one of the reversal trades. Other than that, it was a flawless day. Hopefully today is better. It's starting off better, but we know that options has nothing to do with futures. So I'll fill out my journal real quick, and then we'll see what's happening. Right, I am ready now. An NQ reversal trade's okay. I'm not gonna take it. But an NQ reversal trade is okay because it is weaker than ES and on a pivot. The thing is, it is a bull pennant, so it's not like the greatest odds. ES does have a perfect double bottom right here. It's not a super major one. I took a lot, like a lotto single SPX put here for it and cut it very shortly after. But this chart is bullish. I can't really enter, at least right now. This is a better deal here. So this chart's bullish. I am bullish for ES to get to here, but I'm unwilling to enter until I get a pullback, a big pullback. Not just this one, but another one. And that'll be something that I'm willing to do. If NQ flips stronger, I'm willing to take the NASDAQ instead. But this is a very bullish chart, so no bearish sentiment pretty much whatsoever. Thank you, Wing. How do you spot these setups? They show up right in front of my face. That's pretty much what it is. I already know the kind of setups I trade, and I wait for those setups to show up and then hop in when I'm supposed to. That's not a very easy. It's not an easy question to answer. Years and years of getting used to my trade style and the trades I like taking. First trade wasn't good though. Still made good money on it. First trade was because my Thinkorswim, right when I was about to enter puts, oh, Thinkorswim lost connection. Restart the app. Are you kidding me? So I missed out on puts. I hurt my psych this morning. I entered puts earlier than I should have. Still end up green. It was fine. But that was one error on my part. We do have a rising wedge on the NASDAQ. I do actually think this rising wedge has an okay chance of breaking the downside. It is weaker than ES, and ES is at this trendline resistance. I think it can totally break to the downside. So let's see if it does do that. How long have you been trading? Since I keep saying 5 years, but it might actually be 6 years. I think it's 5 years. Yeah, it is 5 years. Yep, it is 5. How do you guys do today? Type in chat. Perfect double top on NQ. Yeah, I didn't see that. Oh, right here, Lisa. Oh, you said it just broke. Well, this might be one. Yeah, double tops when the candles are right next to each other aren't that significant. Yeah, supply and demand is great. ES missed this demand barely. But yeah, supply and demand is great. Solid indicator. Very, very solid indicator. You gotta love it. And I actually used it. This is one of the first mornings in a while that I entered a trade based mostly off demand and just strength and weakness. And it freaking played out. It looks like NQ is stronger than ES. So I'm expecting a pullback, but I'm not expecting a reversal from this rising wedge. If it doesn't pull back, then I'm not going to be able to take a trade. And even if it does pull back, I may have to wait for multiple oscillations, which means I risk missing out. What do you guys think? Type in chat. How high are the odds of one oscillation being enough to print this PT? Something like this, or will it go like this? Well, it looks like it's going to get there right now. So this is not fun because I don't get to do anything. The story of my life in futures trading. And we haven't even started the second hour yet, which is when the bad price action starts. Knock on wood. ES got to my PT, and NQ's almost there. Next is all this supply breaks. I can't enter this, guys. It's unfortunate. The only trade I could have entered, I could have technically entered longs here. However, I was not even ready to trade futures yet. I just closed my options account. So, yeah, sitting on the sidelines. This is fun. This is very fun. So freaking bullish. This is so bullish. There you go. There's NQPT hit. It's almost like we predicted it. Sometimes rules are a shame. It's a shame that I can't just chase trades. Today would be a nice day to chase trades on. What do you mean PT? PT means price target. How many folks think that we will have a down day? Not many with how this price action is right now. Pretty bullish. My only hope is we pull back right now, and then I have a chance because there's one PT left untouched, and that's ES's. And you know what? We did get it's a very large candle, but we did get a huge volume spike on NQ, so I'm totally expecting a pullback here. I'd say it has like a 60% chance of happening, maybe 70%. Gosh, that's so bullish on NQ. May not pull back right now. That red candle flipping green like that is so freaking bullish. And there it is playing out. Looks like it may break without getting a pullback. I could go for a reversal trade on this level on ES. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's a trade I'll take a gamble on. I mean, you're risking so little, but we've went so far without a pullback. I do not mind it. Now, I would like to enter a reversal trade here on the Nasdaq because I think it's still gonna pull back here. Um, but I can't with that ESPT close. Guys, I think that's like the only trade I can take right now is that reversal trade. And I'll only take it if I get okay volume spike and a bearish candle. Keep in mind, reversal trades have very low probability, so do not bet the house on it. I'm gonna keep this fib up. This is 61.8. That's probably where it's going. That's probably where it's going. 60.80. Probably where it's going. See where NQ 61.8 is. Yeah, it's far too. There's ES breaking my PT. Yeah, NQ's got a way to go. This can go far, guys. I can't be in. Unfortunate. Tell you guys, the China stuff wasn't that bearish to me. Really. Too bad I'm not trading options or I just hold on to my freaking calls. What are those QQQ puts at? Those QQQ puts are up like 6x. 7x. No, 6. They're up 6x right now. But to be honest, I had such a small position left, it doesn't really matter. It looks like ES is just going to get to the 61.8 and I'm not going to be able to get in. Even if I do take a reversal trade, I can't even put the PT very far away because it's so freaking bullish. And the NASDAQ 61.8 is all the way up here. We can totally go all the way up here. Yes, Nokia will. The second hour will start in T minus 2 minutes. And the BSery will happen. Can't get into a reversal trade here. Doesn't have enough. If ES sweeps that pivot or that fib and supply, I'm willing to take a gamble on it. Aside from that, there's like no trades I can take. What was the news today, by the way? I didn't even see that. Oh, watching the market. and take billions of dollars without me in. Yep. Guys, it's looking like I may take a reversal trade once he guys gets, and it freaking sucks that I couldn't get in longs. Like I literally cannot be triggered into longs. Not once during this I could have. 61.8 is all the way up there at 21,580. Okay, so that supply that could be a reversal trade. Um, I'm still gonna wait for the fib. It's only the first red candle. What are the chances like the first red candle is the reversal candle? So didn't get a major volume spike. I got an okay one on ES, but it missed the fib. I think it's more likely to be a dip buy than a reversal. So see how far down it goes. But this is the reversal trade if you really wanted to take it. There you go. And then your PT would be like, honestly, I'd just trade it to the 23.6. This trend is way too strong to take it beyond that. There, the 23.6 is all the way down here. So good luck with that. Would I come to Frankfurt? When? Oh, I cannot do that. You are? You're gonna have to let me know how it goes, dude. I cannot. I'm going somewhere else in March. That is freaking awesome. Are you gonna do like a general Europe trip along with that? Go to different spots, or are you just going there on a mission? Sweet. Right. That's a very valid response. So, supply and demand, guys. What do you rate the indicator? Pretty freaking solid. But I like dip buys. I'm not going to dip buy it. It's very tempting. It hasn't even completed an oscillation. Um, I'm considering dip buying NQ, but then my PT will be all the way at supply. And do I really think it's gonna get there? Probably not. If it gets multiple oscillations, then I'll hop in. You can hop in on a dip here or here. Um, like you can do that. I may have to. Thinking about it, I may have to get it because looking back at my notes, if this prints a green candle and completely invalidates this drop, that's enough of a bull flag for me to go back in my notes. And if it does continue going up, wonder why the hell I didn't get in. So I think what I might do is hop into. Well, I wanted to get into NQ, but it needs to be stronger for me to do that, and it's not stronger. And I am unwilling to enter ES because it's so close to that 61.8 fib. So if NQ is not stronger, I'm not getting in, and it's not stronger at the moment. So yeah, I can't enter ES right here with that fib above. I was thinking I can enter if NQ is stronger, I'll enter NQ here. It'll be stronger than ES. ES goes to this pivot. By the time that happens, NQ can be somewhere up here. I can move my stop to break even in case it rejects the pivot, or not the pivot, the fib. And boom, that would be the trade. But NQ's too weak for that. Get rid of these blue lines. It's looking like a reversal on NQ. Not so much on ES. I'm actually tempted to just dip by ES with how much stronger it is than the NASDAQ. because it's not a MA based moving average based indicator like every other indicator. That is true, man. Yep, this indicator is great. It's like the only indicator I legitimately use. I use volume profile a little bit too, but you can just tell what the volume profile is just by looking at the candles. And then any other moving average or VWAP, I'll only say VWAP if it's just a reference point so you guys know where my target is. But my target's like never actually VWAP. It's always a pivot or a fib or supply and demand. Well, if you guys took that reversal trade, it's working out. Kind of wish I took it, but there just wasn't enough there. You had supply on ES and you kind of had a volume spike on ES. You did not have a volume spike on NQ, nor did you have any notable resistance on NQ here. Um, so yeah, not something I'm willing to enter. Oh, I'm just this entire freaking thing. Yeah, that's because it cracked the 38%, so technically the target is 61.8. So that's what I've been looking for. So, I mean, it ran up so hard, technically it can fall all the way back down. I highly doubt that's going to happen, but now it's kind of sticky because I'm unwilling to just buy the dip, and I'm unwilling to hop in longs if it's just one oscillation. If it puts in a really bullish candle, then I might, but honestly, during those oscillations, it's the really bullish candles that end up invalidating, and it's the chopping up that ends up going. And with that fib there, that's just that's too big of an issue for me because I can go long here. My PT, that's not a bad PT though. That's really not a bad PT and then stop. I don't know. I can do it. It's a little bit too early of an entry. Nice 20 SMA bounce. Did it even pull back to the 23.6? No. Nah. I'm not hopping in where I said I was gonna hop in. What was that? It did what? Right, and it's not there at the moment. I'm not willing to get in here. The pullback was a bit too strong. Pullback was a little bit too strong. I think it's just too likely to oscillate again. Try to be picky with my trades. Only enter setups that have a great odds, and that's a thing. Not so much when I'm trading by myself, but when I'm live trading, I'm a little bit more impatient. Maybe it's because all you guys are watching me. So I'm a little bit more willing to take setups that don't have as high of odds that are still okay trades. And I'd like to try to get away from that. That supply rejection though, yep. I called out the reversal trade when it happened, but um, there wasn't enough there for me to take. So what I'm hoping is if it goes up, I'm hoping that it invalidates this bounce. Otherwise, you could enter longs right here. It did invalidate a majority of the drop. Um, yeah, this candle's looking pretty good. What would be my risk reward on this? Like enter here. Nah, I'm okay. If it bounced on the fib, I would have. It's barely a one-to-one trade. I will continue sitting on the sidelines. Realistically, though, if you took this trade, I wouldn't go to this PT. I would go to NQ new high of day. Looks like he is going to try to get there now. Yeah, and if you're entering that, this last candle's your entry. It's just not likely enough. You know, if I didn't enter this trade, which was okay, but there wasn't a lot there, I'm not going to enter this trade. It's bullish. That's pretty bullish there. Invalidating the selling wick like that. If this candle closes small green, that's a nice candle. It did not go small green. This is another bullish candle. The way it's dropping, like every candle getting some buying in it, it's pretty bullish right now. Which means if by some miracle it did drop, I will be very much so looking to enter. Going to 6107, that's really far, Jebs. That is very far. No. A much better pivot. Wait, 6107. There's not a pivot there. 6107 GTZ. Not Jebs, GTZ. This is a gap right here. The nearest pivot is at 6086. Turn on your B-80J because I think that's screwing up your chart. You see, is that where you got that number from? No. Yeah, there's no pivot at 107. So on the 1 hour. Yeah, no, there's a gap there. Okay, this is no longer a pivot. It was until it broke. Yeah, top of supply is the big pivot here. Wouldn't be willing to go to the top of supply though. You know, the trend is plenty strong, but I don't want to go through the 61.8 fib. Man, I'm liking ES longs. It's so strong right now. It looks so good. This right here is an entry, but now it's too close to PT. So I need NQ to magically dump and make a lower low to pull ES down, which probably isn't going to happen. Would be neat if it did, though. I'm going to hang out on my phone until something happens where it's setting up that I can actually enter a trade. And the phone is away. Okay, yeah, guys, I'm probably just gonna enter it here. I'm able to. It's a pennant. It's so much stronger than NQ. If we retrace this drop, I'm probably gonna take the long. In fact, I know I'm gonna take the long. But it's not a. It's too close though. It's too freaking close. I can't. Nuts. You can take it if you want. If it invalidates this, but I would try to go for a further PT. Yeah, you can enter here. It's too close. I'm not willing to. Because I'm not willing to, unless it makes lower lows, I'm not willing to hold through the 61.8. Now it could go through there, but um I don't want to take this trade through that level. Doesn't mean it's not gonna play out. It's just I'd rather not. So this candle would have been my entry candle, but it's just the odds aren't high enough. I need NQ to make a lower low to drag ES down. Or I can enter a reversal trade if it does something like this, or I can enter a reversal trade if it gets here as well, because that's a pivot. So GTZ, if it breaks over that pivot, after the pivot's there, it's no longer a pivot. Just like supply and demand. Once it breaks, it's gone. A pivot's only a pivot because you assume that there's a bunch of sell orders there, or a sell side pivot. Once price action goes above that, those sell orders obviously are not there anymore. So it was correct. It used to be a pivot, but it's not anymore. This price action went higher after that pivot formed. If NQ makes a lower low, guys, I think I'm willing to hold ES long through the 61.8. It depends. It's looking like NQ's making a lower low. If NQ makes a lower low and comes back up to here, that'll be a falling wedge. And I'm going to be willing to give it a chance. I'm going to be willing to get here and hold it through, because by the time ES is here, NQ is going to be here, and I'm going to hold for NQ new high of day. This is good. This is good. Avoided a red trade there. It was honestly pretty easy to avoid. That's a bit too big of a drop for a falling wedge. But now if ES invalidates this red candle, I'm in there like underwear. And we'll see what happens. That's a 23.6 on NQ. Yep, this is an entry. I have to wait for the last 10 seconds, though, which pains me so much because there's still 30 seconds left in the candle. But that is a 23.6 bounce. This is a valid entry. I have 5 seconds till I can enter. So unfortunate waiting right now. All right, cool. I filled it. As far as PT goes, I just threw a random PT. It's a solid bullpen. I don't like that it didn't make a lower low. That hurts the odds a little bit. But now I'm actually able to hold through that 61.8 fib if it does go up. Maybe it just hornswoggled me and I don't know. That's the falling wedge on NQ. And then here was the 23.6 bounce on NQ, which also really adds to the likelihood of this trade working out. What's the... Having flashbacks of yesterday. Yeah, I mean, that's the fib PT. It's 24 ticks away. That's not a bad size trade, and that's also 1.5 risk to award. I'll see how it goes, because there's also a chance NQ flips stronger as a result of this falling wedge. I may just sell at the 61.8 if it gets there. Damn, this is such a beautiful trade. Forgot to document it, so give me a minute. Beautiful does not mean it's going to work out, by the way, for you new people. But it is freaking glorious. This is a very nice trade. Does this get a 5 out of 5 TA? That's 4.5. It would be 5 out of 5 TA if ES made a lower low. Solid 4.5 out of 5. And, you know, that's a good PT on ES. But the thing is, this has so much freaking potential, guys. This is the kind of trade that you can just trail it. But the way it rejected that supply so easily, and it didn't make a lower low, I have a pretty strong feeling that it's either going to sweep this fib or sweep the pivot just above supply and come back down. And when it does, I'll be able to go short for that. A swaggy, that's only because I've been taking a little bit more reversal trades. This is a lot stronger than NQ. Does NQ look, you know, I'm probably just going to sell it at the fib. Because NQ looks like it's going to want to pull back to form an inverse head and shoulders now that I'm looking at it. I don't think it's going to get right to 5-day. I think bullish case scenario puts in an inverse head and shoulders. Because I'm not seeing a lot of momentum on the NASDAQ. However, if it pulls back now and then manages to retrace that pullback, yeah, I'm gonna go higher. Such a small trade in comparison to how much the market has moved. I'm telling you guys, the second hour is a freaking scam. Right when the second hour starts, here's where the second hour started. Look what happened to the range. It's almost like clockwork. Right, NQ looks like it's starting to get enough resistance to pull back and form that right shoulder. Each of these candles is getting sellers, which I like if it invalidates. If it does invalidate, then this trade may be cooked, but I think there's a decent chance it invalidates. I mean, I could go for it too. Usually I'll raise my PT, move my stop loss to break even if raising my PT doesn't really hurt the odds of the trade. Because of the 61/8 there, I think it hurts the odds of the trade too much. All right, let's see if NQ completes this inverse head and shoulders. If it does and it invalidates it, I'm probably going to hold through the 61/8. There's just going to be too much potential on the table. This candle on NQ needs to hold a buying wick or it's going to have issues retracing this drop. That is a freaking nice buying wick. Yeah, it's looking like this inverse head and shoulders is going to form on NQ. And it's looking like I'm probably just going to move my stop loss to break even when it hits the pivot. You could take profits at the pivot. Like it'll be up my average green trade, a little more than my average green trade. But if NQ puts in this perfect inverse head and shoulders, there's just going to be too much potential. And I'm not going to have a re-entry either. Because even if it does get to this pivot and reject, I'm not really going to be able to re-enter because the risk of it dropping to here is going to be far too high. Tried the 10-second rule on a 3-minute candle. That's brutal, Viper. That's brutal. Yeah, for me that would be like 30-second rule. I don't know how that. I just know the 10-second rule is it's good. It works for me trading the 1 minute. I don't know about other time frames. That's more of a backtesting thing. ES is so much stronger than NQ, guys. My concern now, though, if NQ doesn't bounce and retrace this drop and ES somehow gets to that fib on its own while NQ is going down or sideways, I think I'm going to sell it there as well. It's a very complicated decision. But these are bearish candle opens on the NASDAQ. And this is pretty much as low as that inverse head and shoulders is going to go if it is an inverse head and shoulders. Because this right collar was lower, this right shoulder is able to go lower and it's still perfectly proportional. If it goes lower than this, it's no longer an inverse head and shoulders. And it looks like it's trying to do that. Looks like it's going to do it, but if NQ can bounce here, it looks great for a short squeeze. There's so many shorts playing this. Doesn't look like it's going to bounce, though. These candles are so bearish. Or the way they open are, at least. There's another lower low of the buying wick. Looks like that buying wick is trying to go away. Yeah, it did go away. Yeah, it doesn't really look like an inverse head and shoulders anymore, but it is. It's a very fractal one, but I mean, the width of this shoulder is from here to here. The width of this shoulder is less than that. So it's still proportional. It just doesn't look very good. I don't like how many candles it dropped for. I would have rather it dropped this distance, but it only been like 2 or 3 red candles, not 5. Yeah, this is pretty tough right here, folks. This is pretty tough. Whether or not I'm gonna sell at my fib. It's do I think the inverse head and shoulder is gonna play out on NQ? If this candle closes like this, I'm holding through because it's gonna have good enough odds. But you guys can make your own decision. I could easily very not make the right decision. There's no way to know what's gonna happen. So do whatever you're comfortable with. There is a rising wedge on ES. Knock on wood. And that may or may not perfectly line up with the thing. I don't think it's very likely to play out with this strength. And this is now, let me alter this. This is now like a weird pennant. And it's not a bull pennant. This is not a bull pennant. This is just compression. It can break either way. That's new high of day on ES, and it's rejecting that. That could be a bearish sweep. Man, it's just strong though. NQ, this is a very bullish candle. Very bullish candle on NQ. Guys, I really don't know what the right decision is. I don't know. That's like too janky of an inverse head and if it was a flawless inverse head and shoulders, easy decision. I'll hold through the fib. But now ES is starting to flip weaker as it gets closer to that, which is indicative that I should probably just sell at the fib. Yeah, ES is a lot weaker. Which makes sense. Yeah, and NQ swept way more liquidity. It came all the way down to the 23.6 fib. But it did retain its strong uptrend. It just kind of dropped too much to. I think NQ is far more likely to not go to high of day. It's far more likely to do something like this and then maybe go to high of day. So I'm trying to plan it out right. If NQ goes to high of day, this trade's going to go to this PT all the way up here, even though it's a bit weaker right now. It is decision time. I'm going to do it. I sold it. Yeah, you could do whatever. It really doesn't matter. That was a pretty nice candle. It could continue going through the supply. The way that pennant formed on NQ, it's just a little bit too unlikely to get to high of day for me, so it's whatever. Whatever ends, that's a very tough decision. I have not had to make that decision in at least recent memory. Like choosing between the 61.8 fib or letting it run. That's a tough decision. There's no really right or wrong answer. Just do whatever you want. Moving your stop loss to break even is fine too, but here's the problem with me for that. Moving my stop loss to break even is too big of a risk because if it does retrace and come back down, my plan was to enter a short trade here And I can no longer do that if my stop loss is at break even. So I want to keep that door open. I want to keep that opportunity open, and moving my stop loss to break even and letting it run would take away that opportunity. So that's the rationale behind my decision. But whatever happens, I'll document it. Looks like it is going to get there. NQ getting the new high of day out of that setup is low probability. That's pretty rare that it does that. It's a good win, though. That was a very good trade. Very good trade. Willing to enter a reversal trade here. Yeah, I actually am for an oscillation on the NASDAQ. I do not think a reversal trade even on that candle is a bad trade. Even though it didn't get to high of day, my hypothesis is it wouldn't be. And that's a pivot too. It barely got that pivot. I knew NQ wasn't very likely to get to high of day, but I didn't anticipate ES flipping strong. Like I said, you could enter a reversal trade on that last candle. I honestly didn't pull the trigger in time. And now I'm not really willing to enter the reversal trade on this candle. If I entered on that last candle, my stop loss would be just below the high of the wick. Did kind of miss out on the reversal trade. But I'm going to enter shorts here-ish. Right around here is where I'm going to enter shorts. It's kind of like a support. But this is a short trade that I wanted to enter. So, in fact, I'm able to get in on NQ now. Yeah, that is something that I did. Actually, I switched to MNQ. Took a riskier early entry on that last candle. I mean, it was the reversal confirmed. I had a hypothesis that after this candle, ES would get to my entry area, which is right around right here. So we'll see if that happens. And then my PT is fairly subjective. Like the PT would be right here, but realistically, it's probably going to be lower because I'm looking for this level right here. But that is a buying wick. I may just sell it at break even. Yep, I dumped it at break even. No way in hell I'm holding through that buying wick. So, all right, I will enter ES if it comes all the way back down here. It could end up going down. That's fine. I can't hold through that buying wick. If NQ swept high of day, I can, but because it didn't, I'm not. These wicks are somewhat bullish. ES didn't make the lower low, but NQ did. I still totally think NQ can get down. But with that early entry, it was pretty risky. That trade either needed to be like flawless during it or I'm selling early. Again, that wouldn't be the case if NQ swept high day, but it didn't sweep high of day. So bullish consolidation's on the table, so I got to be careful with how I'm shorting. That is a perfect trend line, though. That's bearish on NQ. This is a perfect trend line. This needs to break. Too bad it formed after I sold this trade. It's a good sell. So this is a long trade here. Do I dare take it? I don't think I can, guys. ES just swept that with like the most glorious reversal volume ever. And NQ has a perfect trend line down there. But that is confirmed bullish consolidation. That is a textbook bull pennant. Your entry would be on this candle. And I mean, your PT would, it could be supply or it could be high of day. But if it's high of day, then your risk reward's only 1 to 1. Um, I think I like it enough to take it, guys. I'll see how this candle goes. Um, no, tough decisions, dude. Tough decisions today. Good price action, but very difficult decisions. I debated on entering early while this candle was red, but now that it closed green, now it's too close to PT, so I can't. It's off the table, unless you go to supply, but this is a long entry here. You could take it all the way to supply. But again, with ES rejecting that level, that's a bit too tough of a decision. And that perfect trend line there on NQ. I would rather enter a reversal trade when if it sweeps high of day. And I think the high of day sweep is just a little bit too likely. Your PT is gap fill. Where's gap fill at, Guru? It's looking bullish on NQ. That's a solid bull pennant there. ES's chart really just ruins it. These trades aren't high probability, regardless if it goes up or down. It's just not high probability with ES's chart like that. 20. Oh, it's a bullish trade. Okay. It's only 300 points. Pretty light. I have a hard time seeing it go much higher, though, with ES's chart like that. No, I do not think it will either. Oh, yeah. When is that? Is that tomorrow? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's possible. Gaps on futures do very much so get filled. They very much so get filled. Damn, I kind of want to take a swing. I forgot about this gap. Well, and that sucks because I don't trade overnight, so I freaking miss it. FOMO was hitting on Sunday. I don't swing GTC, especially on futures. Right. I'm just waiting for the big crash this year. I am a perma bear. I just don't trade like it, and that's very important. Call. Here's the thing: calls are already super like their IV is super baked. Um, Swing a call for FOMC. That's not going to be good IV wise if it's already up here. Right, right. Well, if you buy it now too, like I wouldn't. I would wait for it's like I think the odds are okay that it goes sideways for a couple of hours. Wait till that happens, or wait till like more towards the end of the day. Because unless this continues getting straight up, the IV should cool on calls. So that's gonna help your odds a little bit. I think they will change rates. Probably continue to cut. Actually, I don't know what the actual odds are of a pause or a cut. I'm kind of thinking. I don't know. So if you took that, was that? Yeah, I don't know. Just put Trump as the take Powell's position. All right, NQ looks pretty good for high of day. It's though it's still weaker than ES, and ES is sweeping that high and trying to reject. It doesn't look like it's gonna hold this rejection. It is a reversal candle, but it's not a reversal trade I can get into with NQ on its way to high of day. Plus, there's no volume on this candle. I'm more so looking for a reversal after it gets the high of day. But that is a proper reversal setup on ES. It could drop. It's just eh. Oh, by the way, that was a perfect break even sell. That gets a double check, which makes up for my X on my last sell for the green trade. Good discretion. ES double top. No, it broke it. It's a higher high. I mean, there's a couple more small pivots I can chart out. I mean, there's this one here. There's this one up here. Yeah. All right, NQ, let's see new high of day and then sweep it and dump so I can enter shorts. I'm gonna hang out on my phone till that happens or does something different. It's a very bullish candle on NQ. Looks like it may actually continue this upside move from this pennant. If it closes that way. It did just invest it, but never mind. The selling move made a higher high. So it could be bullish. Actually, it did not make a higher high. That is false. It was bullish. It was bullish. Well, I can try again on a reversal trade. I did do it. I'll give it a chance. I entered the last one. It missed high of day, but the odds are technically better than the previous reversal trade because it at least made a higher high, and so did ES. Um, unfortunately, NQ is trying to flip strong. As far as PT goes, I was honestly just thinking about if it gets to a lower low, I'll just move my stop to break even. Because this is kind of still what I wanted to see down here on ES, 68.50, but that is very far away. So we'll see. Move this down a little bit. If it comes all the way back up here, it should break high of day. Be a much smaller loss now. It is putting in a buying wick. NQ is flipping stronger than ES, unfortunately. But because it swept a higher high, you could sell it break even. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to see what happens. It's potential morning doji star. I do hate that NQ is stronger than ES now. That's kind of lame, but whatever. What's the distance, a stop loss? That's a pretty small loss. And that would be the bare minimum first PT. Looks like it's going to stop out, though. That is a morning doji star. Actually document this. Didn't expect NQ to flip that strong. That is crazy strength. But now it's pretty freaking guaranteed to stop out. And it's kind of unfortunate because ES could be putting in a head and shoulders, which means it can go right back down. I will not be re-entering though if I stop out unless it sweeps high of day, and it will likely be on ES. That is bullish. That may have just been a huge bear trap. And if that's the case, I'm thinking ES can see 60, 90. And then NQ would go wherever it goes in relation to that. Probably start heading towards supply. Because that's 2 successful bear traps now. It is so much stronger than ES, it hurts my heart. If I were in ES, it would be here. But I can't, because at the time of entry, NQ's is so much larger. And yeah, ES did sweep the high of day and a pivot. So it flipping weaker makes sense. But NQ's been weaker and ES has been so much stronger. I can't really go off of that. But also on the ES's trade, my stop loss is further away. My stop loss is much closer on NQ. Somehow it didn't in my stop loss. You guys know me though. I think it's going to stop out though. Because it already came too close to my stop loss. I've written this trade off in my head. I'm able to move my stop loss down just a hair. Because if it comes all the way back up, no way it doesn't get to the initial one. And yeah, this was kind of my bare minimum PT. This is the perfect trend line break. We do have a double fake prophecy possible, which is an issue. It is an issue. I'm actually going to move my stop loss down even further because of that. That is bullish. Actually, I may move my stop loss to break even because I want to enter longs if it comes back up. It's too difficult of a decision. Shit, I gotta like rush now. If I enter longs here, where would this PT be at? 96, that's a trade I can take. Yep, double fake prophecy. But yes. My finger's on the trigger to sell it. I'm probably just gonna sell it at break even. I don't want to enter longs. My finger's never been more on the trigger right now. This candle flips green. I'm so out of this trade. You could hold if you want to. The double fake prophecy is too big of an issue for me because I want to enter long. If it gets to 21,460, I want to enter long for new high of day, based on that. Risky, yeah, but it's technically a higher probability than this, and plus NQ is still stronger, which is very annoying. That red candle goes away, I'm out. In fact, I'm just gonna put my stop loss break even. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I using all this psychology to manually stop out? Beats me. That's a nice buying wick. That's a good potential sell. You can sell if you want to. The reason I'm letting it go, because in case for somehow, some way we do dump, um, that level on ES I'd still like to see. But doesn't look like that's going to happen. That's a pretty bullish candle. Looks like I'm going to stop at break even, and then I'm going to be looking to enter longs. Because now ES has swept lower lows as well. In fact, this is actually a long trade right here. But I would need one more green candle to enter. But you can enter longs here. It's not likely enough for me because it keeps invalidating green candles. Yeah, see, if you enter there, you'd be almost stopped out, depending on where your stop loss was. But I'm totally thinking this candle is going to flip green. Fake one way, fake the other way, go the original way, FEMA. And in VC, it's just a promo stock. Those aren't like buy alerts. They're stocks that I'm paid to tell you guys to look at. They're not buy alerts. Yep, so if this candle closes bullish, I'm going to enter longs on this candle. Assuming it's going to hit my break-even stop here. Yep. Right now I'm half size, so 5 NQ micros, 1 ES mini. That does the job. Man, it really sucks that NQ is so much stronger than ES. If I were in ES, this would be great. What's the default? Yeah, I'd be up way more. I'd be up more than double. Unfortunate, but that's why I'm liking NQ long so much. Now, this is technically my short entry for the ES shorts. Right here is where I wanted to enter for this level. That's why I'm also letting this trade go. It's just stop me on a break even or whatever. This is what I wanted to enter, but now with NQ double fake prophecy, I'm unwilling to enter this. I'm just going to let the short I have stop me out of... It looks like it's going to stop me out of break even. NQ's way, way, way too strong. And it's got another lower low with buying wicks. But this is another potential trade. But the double fake prophecy, I think, is actually probably going to play out on NQ. And if it doesn't, if it gets my break-even stop, I think it's going to play out. The long trade I want to enter is here. And if I enter the long and it ends up dumping, that is horrendously unlucky. But this is the long trade I want to enter, and realistically, my PT is probably going to be a bit further. It'll be something like this. I always withdraw GTC. Well, I never withdraw before the cushion. So, like, on Apex, for a full payout, you need the accounts up 4,100. The last withdrawal after the 8 days, the account was up 5 grand. So I always take the max withdrawal. And if it's not at the max, I just keep trading. And then after I take the withdrawal, it's like at $2,000 to $3,000 cushion. And then eventually, when you have 5K plus cushion, that's when you can go to 1 NQ mini, 2 ES minis, which is fairly unnecessary, especially if you're copy trading accounts. Wow, I wish I was in that ES trade. That would be a way nicer trade to have a break even. Dang it. Because NQ could still stop me out of break even. It's just too much stronger. Look at the size of this freaking trade I could be in. This PT on ES is the same as 200. Almost 300. This on NQ. So I will manually sell this trade if ES hits 68.50. Otherwise, I'm going to keep my stop at break even. In fact, I'm actually going to move it down a little bit. Hurts the odds 0. And I'm getting ready to manually sell. It's a little bit lower, buddy. That is a pivot, though. This is a good sell here. But it barely missed it, so I'm unwilling to pull the trigger. But, man, that's a reversal candle. It might bounce all the way back up. We'll see how it closes. It's a nice reversal candle. And ES just made a lower low, technically. So it could reverse here. One more tick. Got it. It's good enough for me. You could hold it to here, but I didn't. Man, I really wish I was in ES. That's a way bigger trade than I just got. Way bigger trade. Way bigger trade. Damn. That's so much bigger, actually. On 57 times 12.5. Yeah, it's a lot bigger. That'd be like an extra full green trade. But whatever. It was all right. Appreciate it. Still liking NQ longs if it comes back up. Still loving it. In fact, my entry is going to be here. I kind of do want it to continue down and get this low because it'll help the odds, but I really like this trade. Two new high of day, and honestly past high of day. It depends what it looks like. $21,411 was my market sell. How bad was that? Nope, that's at the candle close. That's pretty good. Pretty much all the PTs have played out. All the ES fibs, the pivots, ES got down to that pivot. The last thing is if NQ goes back up, I would love to take longs for that high. That's a good trade. And ES doesn't need this low to do it. Or I mean NQ. It would be nice if it got this low. But I feel like if it gets this low, it's not going to come back up. It's no longer a double fake prophecy. It's just a bigger bull pennant now. One more trade, one more green trade that's not large at all, and we make back the loss from yesterday. Now that's not the goal. I can easily take one more trade and lose. Um, but like I kept harping on it yesterday. Yesterday I got freaking hornswoggled. It was so unlucky. Like yesterday was freaking terrible time. Um, I'm just watching this market dump even more. It looks like NQ is gonna get that lower low. So that sell gets an X, but only one, which isn't bad. If it goes up right now, it won't. It'll get a check. But anyways, I kept harping on it. No matter what, have good psych. Like no matter what, do not allow yourself to reinforce bad habits. Don't even allow it. I don't care if you're gonna blow up your cherished PA account if you break your rules, because by retaining perfect discipline, sure, your account could still blow. Actually, fairly easily, you can still blow. But if you retain perfect discipline and perfect psych, you expose yourself to the opportunity of reinforcing that good psych and making all your money back. And maybe the chances are low for you. Maybe your trading isn't that great yet. There's NQ low, so I'll get that next. But even if your chances are low, if you have a bad red day, but you follow your rules and have perfect psych, and if somehow, some way you do make all that money back, you just greatly reinforce good psychology because you've witnessed yourself go through an extremely hard time, go through massive temptations to break your rules. You've experienced all of that, but you stuck to your rules. And at the end, if you make your money back, this is a potential reversal trade here. Um, Next time you're tempted, you're going to be way less tempted because you've already seen the results of having perfect psychology. Very important. This is a reversal trade here. You could take it. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to stick with my entry up here. That's a pretty hard rejection on ES. And with this is just an area of low volume profile. You can see it here. There's not a lot of support here. It could just continue going down. So wait. Pains me that NQ was so much so much stronger than ES. I would have loved to be in this trade. It's all right. Give me 1 second. right. Break even for the day. Nice job, Fima. Yeah, Daniel, you're gonna actually the Trading Psych channel is down because the Mark Douglas videos got taken down on my YouTube, so I'm gonna replace them with the Google Drive links for now. And I still need to contact to see if there's anything I can do to keep those videos up on my YouTube. But for now, I'm gonna replace the Trading Psychology channel with Google Drive links because most of the Mark Douglas videos got taken down. This is a decent reversal setup. If this candle closes right, I'm kind of liking a reversal trade. Guru, what do you think? And ES bounced off of 38.2. This candle didn't close perfect. I need that selling wick to invalidate. That selling wick invalidates, I'll take a risky long. It's stronger than ES now. And ES did put in a proper reversal off of the 38.2% fib. The potential for this trade is so high because this is a trade you easily just trail to high of day. And that's a really big trade. See how this candle closes. I'm willing to take it if this candle closes right. I do like the selling wicks that it's forming. To me, these selling wicks are bullish as long as I keep it validating. This is a stab I'm willing to take. This looks good. I gotta wait for the last 10 seconds though. I would like to enter not above here, but it looks like I'm not gonna have a choice. Here's the last 10 seconds. Yeah, I did place my order. Is it not gonna fill me? It did fill me. Not very high probability, but it's a setup I'm willing to take. Stop loss is really, really tight on it. You could move the stop loss down to here. Um, but to me, if it invalidates these green candles, the chances are too high of it making a lower low. So, and I would not enter unless this red candle goes away. While this red candle here, it looks like it's going to stop out. But if this red candle invalidates, oh my gosh, it's going to be looking good. This sweep a high is NQ. I think NQ just looked weaker. Or is this a perfect double top? 43.25 is a perfect double. Not really, like it's not a major, but yeah, NQ flipped weak. We'll see. It flipped weak, which really hurts the odds. The odds are terrible when it's down here. The odds for this trade won't become good until it gets all the way up here. And right now it looks like it's not going to do that. Yep. Right. Oh yeah. And this was my consolidation that I was able to trade. I entered longs at 10:46 Eastern on ES. Um, sold at the fib. Could have taken. It's really lucky that it got to the pivot because NQ missed high of day. So I was right. I did not think NQ was going to get high of day. And this looks like it wants to stop out. There's a lot of selling pressure into this bounce. But anyways, it did not look like NQ was going to get high of day, which is my rationale for selling here. And you know what, guys? It's starting to look like possible bearish consolidation. There's a lot of shorts entering here. Yeah, that long trade was so nice. I actually forgot to document this. Let me do that real quick. All right, well, this is going to stop out. Was a very good attempt, though. This is 932. 21. Oops. All right, I'm going to try longs one more time at the exact same entry area. If it makes a lower low. If it doesn't make a lower low, I'd have to enter all the way up here. There's a chance that those of you that put the way further stop loss may have lucked out. Is that perfect bottom on ES? Yeah, that's a perfect double bottom on ES. It's hard for me to be bullish during. Actually, need this fib here anymore. Nor do I need this one. This is a bear pennant that has a decent chance of breaking to the upside on NQ. It would be pretty bullish for that if ES wasn't a double bottom there. I'm gonna hang out on my phone until I'm able to get into another trade. I'm gonna have to get back in. That is unfortunate that my stop swept. How much did it go? Below my stop though. I was in right here. 18. I had a very good average. That's a bit too big of a loss still. That's just too unlikely. Like realistically, the only other stop loss I can do is all the way down here, but that's just too. That even has a higher chance of sweeping. Because by the time it's here, it's so likely to make a lower low than just bounce. But it looks like I may have to take another stab at longs. Pretty much, yeah, here. If this candle closes big enough, I'm going to be triggered into this long trade. I don't really want to because ES has that perfect double bottom. But that is, yeah, I'm very triggered into this long trade. And there's the last 10 seconds. This candle closes right, I'm hopping in. Yep, that is a good enough close. All right, we will see what happens. After two big green candles, lately it's been getting a red candle right after. I hope that doesn't happen again. Well, that's going to stop out. Looks like price action is going to shit today. I'm only willing to try one more time on longs if this goes right back up to my same entry Otherwise, that may be it for today. I may actually end up having a small green day instead of a big one. I kind of jinxed it too. Right after two big green candles, it gets that big red one, but I don't actually have the data to do anything else. Damn, just had to go high enough to trigger me in. If it was any lower, I would not have gotten triggered in there. That would be a potential short trade. Um, I'm not willing to take shorts. It's against my overall bias. So back to hanging out on my phone. SFRM made almost 20% today. Let's look at it. Let's look at this one too. Some of them are good. Like some of them go up. Yeah, this one didn't do anything. It shot up really hard though. It's SRFM. Yeah, I mean the time of the thing was here. It went up a little bit, not much at all. Very nice stop loss there. So my re-entry for longs is going to be right around right here. And you can't, if I didn't get triggered in the longs there, I could easily take shorts to this low, but because it just took a loss, I'm not willing to take multiple losses back to back like that. So that'd be the trade I take. Very unlucky. Don't forget to react to that promo center message, by the way. 12 more $25 winners today. Yes, GTC. Ew, am I going to have to enter longs and NQ misses that low? Please don't go back up. Damn. NQ barely missed that low. I mean, it kind of makes me happy because if I took shorts, I would have lost. But guys, I'm going to have to like take longs and NQ miss that low. That's kind of a problem. I know, Faros. And it's kind of bittersweet, like I said, because I got to keep waking up at freaking 5:30 in the morning for them. But so whatever. I told you guys, if you guys react to those messages, they keep giving me more deals, and because of your guys' reactions, I get them. So I just keep giving away money. I still got to pay everyone from yesterday. I have not done that yet. All right, so it's looking like ES longs is what I'm gonna take. I'm gonna let NQ go a bit higher. But ES dropped a lot less than NQ, and it's invalidated a lot more of that drop. If NQ gets one more solid green candle, I'm in. I may still take NQ though. The PT is a lot better on NQ, and it's a lot more further away. Yeah, Forrest, I am. I get paid to post that. That's why I give money away. It's because I literally get paid to post that. So I give you guys anywhere from like 30 to 50% of what I'm paid to post it, and then yeah. It's in the disclaimer for us. But yeah. Today could end up flipping red if this trade doesn't work. If this trade doesn't work, I'm going to call it. It's not going to flip red. It'll be close, though. It'll be very close to red. It'll be pretty much break even. This candle closes right, I'm in. I hate that NQ missed low of day. I'm not the low of day, but low. I hate that. But ES did make lower lows, and it's chopping down. And I am triggered in now, so. Great. Am I going to get Hornswoggle again? Cast your votes below. Gotta wait till the last 10 seconds, but I am confirmed in here, so. Hopefully it doesn't go too much higher. Here's the last 10 seconds. Yeah, I did fill it there. Will I get Hornswoggle? Well, I don't like my average. Filled a lot higher than I wanted to fill. But I'm confirmed in, so if price action continues to be crappy, I'm just going to keep losing money. If we do come down, if you guys are not in this long trade, if we do come down to here, it's going to be a decent short trade at my stop loss because NQ did miss that low. It's a nice pivot down there. That's why it bugs me so much. But ES did make a lower low, and it chopped down and swept properly and all that. So it's a very, very, very difficult trade for me to avoid. But this is my last trade regardless, though. Where's my stop loss at? If I lose this trade, I'll still be a tiny green on the day. Unfortunately, I was big green on the day, but that's what happens when price action goes to shit. This would be a 5 out of 5 TA trade if NQ made that lower low. It would legitimately be a 5, but because of that, it's a 4. Pretty much the same odds as the last trade I took. Maybe slightly better because it did make one lower low, but not the lower low. So we'll see. I'll let it ride. And this trade, you can, if it does actually work, and that's an if. This is a huge flag. This could produce supply, but that's such a big if. Like, look at that selling wick. It kind of looks like it just wants my stop loss. Let me see, 8:30 to 9:48. That's an hour and 20 minutes, give or take. The run was 7:48. See, that is an issue. I will not, if it does go up, I will not be trailing stop loss or doing any of that. If it goes all the way up to here, I'll move my stop loss up. But PT is hard at high a day. Unfortunately, it looks like NQ has flipped weaker than ES yet again, which is not good. If ES does keep dragging it up, though, I do expect NQ to end up flipping strong again or catching back up. So I'm going to hang out on my phone, wait for this trade to either hit my stop loss or PT or get close to one of them. And yeah, I'll just hang out until then. Looks like it's going to stop out. And it didn't even make a higher high. So it looks like it's going to stop out. And if it goes back up, it's just as likely to go up. But yeah, price action went to absolute shit. So closing today, a very small green day. Very small green day. And that is going to be that. It's a good short trade, though, at least to that NQ low. Let me just document that, and then I'm heading off. I'll do my trade recap in a bit. Man, that sucks. Such a good day, but price action went to shit so hard. Terrible. Terrible price action now. One of these days, I'll have good price action the entire time. One of these days. All right, I'm heading off. I will see you guys later. Let me know if you need anything. And yeah, react to that promo post because we got to do the giveaway. And I'll probably just do them all in Mark Glows. We do have the new giveaway center channel, so I don't spin a million wheels in announcements and just overload that channel. And then we'll do the trade review probably in like 1 or 2 hours. I'll let you guys know. All right, I'll see you guys later.